my diesel. Damn. Get off my diesel. Goddamn. Get off my diesel. Damn. Get off my diesel. Damn. Damn. Diesel. Damn. Damn. Diesel. Damn. Damn. Diesel.
Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I am your host, the conservative libertarian here, and we got one more for you. We got the 5, right? They just uploaded this video, and it says the circus is back in town. So I think this is going to be covering a lot of the ICE protesting that's going on and stuff like that. Caroline Levitt's about to get into what Trump is planning on doing with all that, and see what happens. But let's get into this video to see what they had to say about that. Let's go.
President Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for all. The president has directed Secretary Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland.
President Trump's ordered a review of federal funds to Oregon as the Antifa carnival of chaos continues in Portland. Radical agitators once again laying siege to the ICE facility last night, a ritual that's now dragged on for nearly 100 straight nights. There was your usual Woodstock-era hippie burning the American flag. One guy got cold-cocked in the face, a violent fistfight that left a man knocked out. ICE's Portland director says the facility is under constant attack with little help from local police, thanks to far-left city leaders tying their hands. 3 arrests in total, including conservative journalist Nick Sodor, who says he was swarmed, shoved into a flower bed, and punched. Swinging back but missing.
All of a sudden, I'm being jumped by Antifa thugs. I get back up, I stumble away and go back toward cops where I think, at least, all right, well, maybe that'll be a safer place for me to go. There's the videos now show me just standing next to the police. Never suspected that I was going to be the target of the arrest that they were coming in to make. Look, this is going to backfire on them tremendously. It already is.
AG Pam Bondi's now investigating Nick Sodor's arrest. Kennedy, there's thinking that there is collusion between the city of Portland and Antifa. What are you hearing?
I mean, essentially, they have the same political philosophy, and that is the virus that has infected this once great metropolis since before the pandemic. And it has gotten just absolutely awful. I mean, there are parts of the city that are completely boarded up. Where this ICE facility is, it's a pretty quiet part of town. It's removed from downtown. It's on McAdam. It's close to Johns Landing and the Oregon Health Sciences University. And so the officers that are there, they are just sitting ducks. So these Antifa groups, they coordinate with each other and they go down and they overwhelm, but then Portland police, because of the modified rules of engagement, they are not allowed to send in the forces that they used to. They used to be able to send in, essentially a rapid response team and a riot squad and cops on bicycles who can maneuver much quicker and react to things in real time, but we don't want to arrest anybody. So the rules of engagement had been changed, so there are fewer officers there, and the ones that are there are not allowed to make the kind of arrest they used to be able to. And so now they have a system in place where they are taken to one facility for a field arrest, and then they are taken to a detective for a formal arrest. These Antifa guys wear like 10 different layers of clothes. So if you have a probable cause affidavit and you see a guy in a blue shirt and then all of a sudden he's wearing a pink tank top, you basically have to make him disrobe until you find the layer that was captured in the first place for the probable cause. Because if you don't have probable cause in this city, you don't have an arrest. And even when you do have an arrest, you're not going to get someone charged with anything. And this whole cycle is just going to continue to devolve into a giant, once beautiful toilet.
Portland, I don't know what y'all are on, bro. Like, y'all are on some serious shit. I thought California was bad during the No Kings protest, but man, these people, bro, it is so shameful, what I'm saying, to see that our country is devolving in such a fucking pointless situation when all this stuff could be averted if, people just cooperated with the Trump administration. Like, I get it. People like, oh, we don't want to bend the knee to fascism. And are we going to do this with every president? We're going to do this with every president that comes into office. Because at this point, J.D. Vance is looking like the top front runner for the next president campaign. I just don't. I'm trying to figure out what's the end goal. What is the end goal? Because even if, right, the protests stop and Antifa, all that stuff stops or whatever, is there really going to be any true resolve in Portland that comes of this? Because, like I said, a lot of it is unnecessary. And if the Portland administration and the Portland governors would have just cooperated with the federal police, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't have to be doing all this extra stuff. And, you know, Portland's entitled to having their own laws and their own thing. But when their laws impede federal investigations, yeah, you're going to have these issues where you got, you know, federal troops going into these states to handle what they deem to be a problem. And, you know, since Trump has designated Antifa as a terrorist organization, yeah, they're getting the full brunt of this, and it's mostly because the governor of the state is allowing it to happen. That's truly what's going on. She's allowing all the mayhem and chaos to go down, and she doesn't want any law and order in her city. And that's the problem with what's going on, and that's why Trump is fixing the system, because the system is broken, and now they're mad that the system is being fixed. They're mad about it.
100 days straight, Jessica, you'd think you'd be able to handle that with the Portland Police Department. Why has that not been handled?
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and refute that some of the footage seems like things are out of control. I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that it doesn't seem like in some cases when protesters are getting pepper sprayed in the face that ICE is going a little bit too far there. And you're going to have to find some sort of solution that deals with who the people are who live in Portland and what their politics are and how they feel about living in a militarized city, and making sure that nobody is getting hurt and that the ICE facility can function and hopefully just pick up people who have committed crimes here in the United States versus just regular people.
I love how she says they're going too far as the same clip is rolling of them actually spraying water on the person who got pepper sprayed or who's been pepper sprayed. They're spraying water on their face to help soothe the pepper spray because maybe they felt like that wasn't the right move, or maybe they're just trying to be good Samaritans to help. But it's funny how she's trying to, I'm not saying she is intentionally spitting this, because she did come out outright and say that there is some type of violence going on in Portland from both sides. But at the same time, you see that the ICE or the police there, they're not being cruel as you would think they're being. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly the people on the streets who are causing a lot of the chaos and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of the people there, you know what I'm saying, they're causing issues and stirring up drama. So, you know, I'm not saying what ICE is doing is acceptable, you know what I'm saying, with the whole pepper spraying and stuff like that. But I mean, if they feel like they need to diffuse the situation, then I mean, as long as they're not using, you know, super violent actions, then I don't see a problem with that.
Who, yes, entered unlawfully decades ago, but are now being hauled away. This argument that, you know, what's going on in Portland is a microcosm of how the country is just completely out of control and that we need tanks rolling down the streets of Chicago is not flying with the American people. There's a lawsuit now, Alabama, an American citizen who was arrested twice is suing for that as an American citizen. He was rounded up a construction worker. I guess he's like a little too Latino looking for them. And then there's what happened in Chicago, that there was an ICE raid on a South Shore apartment complex looking for Trenta members. There was a Black Hawk helicopter involved. American citizens were pulled out of their homes. There were children standing outside. They were zip tying the kids together. The American public should not stand for that. It's not just we will not stand for that. And I don't think you would be comfortable if you saw tanks rolling down 6th Avenue.
I haven't seen any tanks in the
Well, go to Chicago outside of the Broadview facility and you will see the tanks.
And I'm not even sure what you're saying is true, because a lot of the stuff you say ends up being wrong.
But it's,
Kayleigh,
I can only go by the reporting.
Do you think that the things that she's alleging are happening or actually happening?
You don't think there's a lawsuit?
No,
an American man?
Okay.
Anybody can file a lawsuit, Jessica.
Militarizing American cities. No. Here's what's happening here, Jessica. There are literally bottle rockets that have been thrown at an ICE facility. There are lasers being pointed in the eyes of ICE officers in Portland. Oh, wait, did we all soon forget the attack on an ICE facility last week where anti-ICE was written on the bullet, where it was targeted directly at hurting and killing ICE officers? No, the mainstream media came in and said that was about detainees, and then they were fact-checked, totally and completely wrong. Our ICE officers are under attack across the country. And it's not the first time this happened. When I was there in 2020, this same Antifa crowd that's in Portland, they were throwing pig's feet and feces at law enforcement officers. And what did Democrats do? Kate Brown said the law enforcement that's there, the federal law enforcement, were secret police. She was the governor at the time. Nancy Pelosi called the federal agents stormtroopers. Jim Clyburn called them the Gestapo. That's what Democrats did. Demonizing federal officers does not work. And I will take the issue of crime and illegal immigration any day. These are winning issues for the Republican Party. And I love that Democrats are taking the bait. Make that your talking point. Tanks rolling down the streets of America. It's not going to work in the midterms. Did not work in 2024.
I mean, yeah, like I said, like, I feel like they're on the wrong side of this issue because it's hard to say that it's on one administration for why illegal immigration is such a big issue in the country. But at the same time, too, if you look at the statistics, right, you look and see how many people Biden brought in during his administration, over 10 million, you know what I'm saying, unfettered, you know what I'm saying, undocumented illegals came through the border under temporary status, when we know for a fact that most temporary status cases get thrown out because they're not seeking asylum. They're not seeking protective custody from whatever thing that they're fleeing from their country from. Like, it's not that. Like, you have to think deeper about that. You just can't think of the surface level stuff. You can't just think of the surface, like, oh, well, they're just here just because, like, they want to live their life too. But it's like, they're impeding on your life though. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is why I call myself a libertarian. I don't want other people infringing on the rights of other people. Now, when their rights infringe on the lawfulness of the country, that's the same thing as impeding on people. So if an illegal immigrant is coming over the country illegally, they're impeding on the country, the lawfulness of the country, aka the people. At the end of the day, Barack Obama deported 3 million people, right? No one was up in arms about that, but you know, they want to be up in arms about Trump deporting people when they let in so many motherfuckers, so many. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We are growing every day. Make sure you turn on notification bells on so you know when I upload every time, right? We try to upload every day. We're working on our schedule and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.